Okay, I'm Patricia Fugèe with Retzel and Andrus. I'm on the board of directors of the ABC, and I'm here with Joe Garemore from Brown and Connery, who's going to tell us a little bit about his experience with being board certified. Joe, why did you become board certified?
Well, Tricia, it's kind of a funny story. My first time at the ABI conference, I had won in a raffle an opportunity to take the certification exam. And so I looked into it a little bit more, and I saw that the qualifications were things that I thought I could handle, and the rest is history.
And what did you think of the process of becoming certified?
I remember it being a involved process. There were a number of categories of expertise you had to demonstrate. There were references. There was an exam which was not a simple exam, and then there are CLE requirements both initially and ongoing. But I thought it was a fair test of one's qualifications.
And was it easier or harder than you expected when you started?
It was probably ultimately in final analysis a little more difficult than when I first jumped into it, but I think as you develop through the process, I think you do find that it's attainable.
And was the application itself difficult?
As I recall it, and I've been through a couple of recertification processes, but initially it was a significant application, I should say.
Okay. And your experience with the exam itself, you said it was comprehensive. Did you think it was more difficult or easier than you expected?
I thought it was fair. I really did. It did cover a pretty broad array. I was surprised in my preparation for the exam how many areas that I really did need to brush up upon, but I found ultimately that it worked out okay.
Which certification exam did you do?
I took the certification for creditors' rights.
Okay. And in your experience over the years, does being certified increase your standing or your prestige?
I think it's helped some. I have had opportunity to work with some people who found me in the directory of certified specialists. Perhaps it's opened some other doors, and it is a nice thing to be able to talk to both colleagues and clients and others about.
And in your jurisdiction, has there been any advertising benefit? For example, some states prohibit advertising in a particular area unless you're certified. Mm-hmm. Is that the case with New Jersey?
New Jersey and Pennsylvania, where I practice, their rules are funny and they're a little inconsistent state to state, so we haven't done a lot of advertising formally, officially through those channels because of some of the restrictions that apply that aren't necessarily consistent.
Okay. And do you feel that your certification has helped to expand your clientele or your practice?
I think it has. I do. I'm happy I was certified initially. I've worked to renew in the periods when that's come up since, and I intend to keep doing it because I do think it is a nice thing to be able to speak about, and it's a good opportunity to continue to be in contact with people with whom I see in the practice.
And what do you think being certified says about an attorney?
Well, I think it does demonstrate a certain level of experience in your area of certification. I think it does help give a prospective client or prospective referral source some level of confidence that they have someone who has some level of experience.
And are you aware as well, or I'm sure you're aware as well, that there are also benefits to certification relative to a degree of professionalism and ethics in addition to the substantive knowledge?
I'm sorry, can we stop for a second? Okay, I'm not sure I understand the question.
I didn't say that very well.
Okay. In other words, does the certification demonstrate professionalism?
Yeah. Do you want me to re-ask the question?
Yeah, can we? Yeah.
Okay. Does certification indicate that the attorney has demonstrated professionalism and ethics?
I believe there was a component initially on the exam, and then certainly in the recertification process there is, I believe there are ethical components, and I would think that I think also part of the recertification process does entail a continued recertification that you don't have any disciplinary problems in your home jurisdiction. So I think there is some element of that as well.
And it indicates that there is a peer review process for certification, isn't that right?
That's correct.
Does certification say that the attorney maintains expertise by participating in meaningful continuing legal education?
It certainly does.
Do you recall what the CLE requirements are?
I can speak for the creditors' rights, and I believe it may be the same for business and consumer bankruptcy, but within the 5-year certification period, that's the 5-year recertification period. The last 3 years, it is required that one take 60 hours of continuing legal education in that last 3-year period.
And all related to the topic of creditors' rights
Of course.
or bankruptcy?
Right, within your area of certification.
Is there anything else that you would want to tell people that might be interested in becoming certified?
Well, I think it is it's an opportunity to do something with your practice when you've spent a few years in your chosen field. I think the organization is a strong organization. I think they've done some work in trying to publicize the certification to those who might be interested in services of folks like me. And it's something I'd like to see us continue to do into the future.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.